Go.
Welcome to Full English Cafe. Oh, look who's here! I thought we were sans Thom, but here he is. So we go round robin style. Three at a time.
Yeah.
Music or poems. If they're fairly, not long poems, but medium poems. We don't want to do the rhyme of the ancient mariner all in one piece, but anything else you can come up with. And if we get lots and lots of people later on, we'll go one at a time. But for now, the 3, 4, 5 of us will do what we can.
Go. That's enough for me.
I'll give you time to settle in. I'll read the first poem of the evening. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Thanks for being here. You too. Thanks Louise for getting them here.
Oh, you're welcome.
I made it. They made it. It's more miraculous.
Didn't have a whole lot of trouble finding them. Luckily they're sitting out at the steps so I can see them. Not everyone does that sort of thing when you look for the house.
You can have whatever's in this pot. That would be great.
This is my latest poem. And did you ever have a pet and you gave it something like a little toy for Christmas or something, and then it either didn't like it or it chewed it up or something?
Wait. No.
Well, it happens sometimes. In this case, some friends of mine. Some friends of mine have. Friends of mine had a dog that they called Scooby-Doo.
Yep.
And Scooby wasn't anything like the Scooby-Doo in the cartoons. He was he was a huge dog. He was like a footstool with short legs and, part Ciao and part Cocker Spaniel or something. But he was a good old dog. But one Christmas, they got him a squeaky toy. It was green and it kind of looked like a pea pod with face for each pea and all the peas in the pod, and the faces were kind of scary. And he was scared of that thing. So this poem is about Scooby and the hideous object. It comes up on the Kindle Fire here. Come on. Isn't it doing anything here? Lazy machine.
Sleeping machine.
I'll go another route here. I'm going this way.
You can put that on your porch.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking we might take it to Mini Papa's because or else we just sit around doing nothing.
Okay. Scooby and the hideous object. A gift it was on a Christmas morn to the mongrel Scooby-Doo. From a young man and his mother, a squeaky toy green and new. The object shook the very soul of that mixed-bag shaggy hound, who with yelp and bark fled living room in a terror sudden and profound. "Oh, horrid thing born of Hades' realm, why do you taunt good Scooby so? Why squeak thee with a harpy screech whenever trodden under toe? Must you take the form of pea pod, each pea a mocking garish face? Must you lie as though in ambush when Scooby stumbles on your space? Thou sextet of hideous homunculi, each bearing a frightful sardonic grin, get thee thence to nether regions away from noble Scooby's den. O Scooby-Doo, your home is safe now from that evil talisman. It is hidden safely from your sight, at least until you're bad again. Thank you. He was scared of that thing. And he would chew the heads off of Chewbacca dolls and things, and he would try to bury things in the corner of the room. There's no dirt or anything. He just played like he was digging, and hid something in the corner. Look at the man with all the poinsettias here.
That's along. That's the people.
Yeah.
As for you, happy Poetry New Year.
Well, thank you. Actors Dickens, yes.
You can act out Dickens.
You know, when Charles Dickens was a child, he was a cute little Dickens.
What the
That's only the 5th time he's heard that this year. In the last week or two. Okay. Okay, here's one you may have heard before. We talked about, we've lost most of our audience, but we still have a loyal audience member here. This is one about one of my cats. One Giancarlo Cappuccino, who on cold nights likes to sleep back to back with me. Spine to spine, back to back, spine to spine, mine to yours, yours to mine, many vertebrae align, human ridge onto feline. My heart beats, so does thine. The two of us so incline, species twain yet combine, as beings warm we intertwine. Ape and cat fit, I opine, for Africa drew each design. Felid small and hominid line, so in repose we now recline, and both snooze till 9:30. That's happened many times. And this is another cat poem. I can look out the window of my bedroom with the window pulled up part of the way, and it's like a widescreen TV. Widescreen. Widescreen in my bedroom view of the dozen tree wood, sill for crooked-tailed cats, and ventilation in summer's heat. I see through you a miniature forest in the diagonal, populated with birds of all stripes, types I don't even know. Sometimes there's jaywalking or robin bobbing or sparrow hopping, and I must remember to address the cardinal as your eminence. The sapling grove becomes the world when night befalls the suburb block. Felines 3 take the catbird seat and slip each into the dark thicket, to arrive later empty-mouthed, I hope. During my slumbers much takes place out there. If I don't filter out the stalkers with the lowering of the pain, I may blanch in morning light at a mockingbird carcass field stripped behind my standing mirror. I confess I have laughed at neighbors incensed by kitty flower bed deposits and upturned smiles at tall bird feeders. But I don't much appreciate proud gifts of blood and feathers or fur and tails laid at my feet, hoping in vain for praise. Still, I happen to love the cats on the sill, the stars in 3D of my widescreen show. Thank you. I'm just killing time till somebody else comes up here.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's one about, looking forward into the future when we can get beyond the earth. Thrust beyond the gravity well, we sail onto the stars and leave behind us in our dust the earth, the moon, and Mars. We don't look back, we don't think twice, we press on through the night with darkness, darkness everywhere, still drawn forth to the light. Necessity did not put us here, but we bear on nonetheless. Why we long to probe the void is anybody's guess. More than the sum of all our parts, more than creatures of pure need, we try and do what we never dreamed, and beyond all odds succeed. Yay, go science. Oh, here's one. This is my last one before either Thom or Scott takes over here. The stickler. I am a stickler, the stickler. Accuracy is what I insist upon. And yes, an ape is not a monkey. A whale is not a fish. A spider is no bug. A scorpion is no bug. For that matter, an insect is not a bug, unless it is a bug. Like a bed bug, or a stink bug, like an assassin bug, like an aphid is a bug. The bugs, often called the true bugs, are of the order Hemiptera, hemi for half and ptera for wing. Sometimes the wing's bottom half is hardened and the wing's top half is membranous. They also have piercing and sucking mouth parts. Cockroaches are Blatodia, not bugs. Ants and bees are Hymenoptera. Termites are Isoptera. Butterflies, Lepidoptera. Flies, fleas, mosquitoes, midges are Diptera. And the beetles are Coleoptera. Yeah. The beetles are the most popular life form. About 40% of all known insects are beetles. That's a fact. About 25% of all life on Earth is beetles. Said the great naturalist J.B.S. Haldane, the creator, if he exists, has an inordinate fondness for beetles. So I say, don't call them bugs. Thank you all.
Yeah.
And now I think I can hand it over to the man in black and the man with the guitar.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
We're two different people at this point.
But we shall know. We'll be late.
Thom, the world poet, and Scott Vanya.
Well, I promised Scott I would tell him who died. First thing is, it's not us.
Yay! Bravo.
I tell all the poets, don't die, don't suffer. Do you think they listen? No. They'll run away from poetry. They may as well be mime artists. I'm talking to you out there who aren't here. You know who you are. No, you don't. So let's play.
Oh, let's play. Okay. Enough with the finagle.
It was 1993 and the first International Poetry Festival was done by complete volunteer madness at the Mexicali Museum in Congress, the main street of town. We had not a dime. We didn't have anything. We shared it because we had half of nothing. My friend Hippie Vern, he had a car. So I gave him 50 cents in gas. Gas was cheaper in 1993, believe it or not, to go to a poetry venue, whatever there was, and 50 cents to get back, because it was important to get back.
Yes.
So not having a car makes you realize just how fragile one is. But I digress. The story is 1993. I'm there at the front desk, we're all volunteers, and we had our first program, which was printed like a newspaper, and was done with the 4 directions to bless the festival, and in honor of all the people who are poets but don't want to admit it in public.
That's everybody, right?
That's everybody, right? Except for those are here. Yeah, who do it. That's right. You said that in your poem, you know. You said, Thom said, I'm a poet. That's it.
Right.
That's it. You're a poet, but you don't have to be. You've got freedom not to be a poet. You too. You've got freedom to say. Actually, I just had a half-hour conversation with a friend who's coming down here. And he said, you know, sometimes, Thom, I just want to get out of the backpack and chuck it. I said, keep that thought. Because that thought will save you through times of difficult, prosaic, long-winded, 10-ditches poetry, when it just gets boring to listen to someone, and you just feel like putting your backpack on and going out into the wild not knowing. But don't do it. Just keep the thought. I said, it's like suicide. You must consider suicide. Don't do it, but think about it as the last, second last, or third last option left. You know, it's always there that one can just simply vaporize. And I told him this poem that a friend had done, where she said, I was in the middle of a shopping mall one day and it finally occurred to me that I had the freedom to do whatever I want, so I simply dropped. I fell to the floor. I let gravity take its part. I thought I'm not going to get up anymore. Well, I was fine and happy looking up the world from the bottom of the ground, but everyone else looked at me as if my mind was not quite sound. You see, they thought I was dead or crazy or both. But they didn't know what to do because everyone's carrying something. They're all carrying the past, they're carrying emotions, they're carrying unresolved contradictions, and they have to carry them because if they just let it go, they'd be free. And the weight of that is just too much for most people. So they put the backpack on and they trot through life and they get close to the ground because the weight of the pack is getting very heavy and they just finally fall down. So you may as well just fall down any time at all. I told him about that, it didn't cheer him up at all. But I digress. I was at the front desk in 1993 at Mexicali Museum, and I had in my hand programs I was giving to people for free, which is really good. And then this engineer walks along. This engineer was the man who designed the dish field, the UT, Longhorns, and did a whole lot of engineering work for UT. Very bright man, came from Lebanon. He was walking along Congress with his beloved wife. He said, don't go in there, there's poets in there. I heard the word poet, and immediately I thought, aha, the door has opened in the universe. So I grabbed a program and I threw it out on the street, and the woman picked it up and looked through it and smiled at me. And from that moment on, I knew we had a new poet. Because it's like this. It's like a golden door is always waiting for you. But most people don't think there's a golden door. And if there was a golden door, they'd think there might be a lion or a tiger behind it waiting to devour you. Or there might be some terrible hole that takes you to the bottom of the earth. You just get eaten up and get allergies. You see? That's why they don't go through the golden door. And most will not admit there's a golden door. But those who have walked through the golden door know that there's another one after that. But I can't tell you that. So I'll go back to the old story. That was 1993. Now this person became a significant member of the Austin Poetry Society and a very significant counsellor of the Poetry Society of Texas. And she was very much responsible for getting poetry to young people in schools in Texas, which is against the curriculum. Do not bring in thoughts of the curriculum, just follow orders and God will take care of the rest. Kill them all. So she has been doing this for 20 years. Now, it was at this cafe, at that table, where she brought in, I may as well tell you the full truth. It's a better story too. I am a book lover. I love books. I love them so much I try and give them away, but every now and then, it brings back memories. And so I always bring a lot of books, but something inside me stops. But I found books in German and Dutch that smelled of significance, but I couldn't understand the words. Now, one thing I did know is that this person with whom I'm talking, who I've just come from, by the way, speaks German, speaks Arabic, speaks Italian, speaks Spanish, and is above all multilingual, multicultural, has written 3 books, one about her time in Paris, one about her time in Lebanon, and one about her time in the Second World War, when she was a little child. Because she was rescued from Germany, starving, and came to America and married this engineer. They've been together 48 years, until last week, where her beloved finally died. So today I was at the funeral of George Abbey Khaled, whose obituary in the Statesman went for a quarter of a page. So many achievements. Amazing man. But to me, the wife is more amazing because she's alive. Poetic. Giving more. Today she was looking after the family and friends. You know, when people die, all the family and friends come from all over the world. Well, they were there today at the church service, and at they went to bury the body, and then we all this afternoon had a repast and conversation together. And I've just come from that to here in order to share that it doesn't really matter who has gone. It matters who is here now. Because most of us are only partially here now. We're only, no, all of it. I mean, forget, not you, you're here. I know I can hear it. But I'm not a lot of the time. I just dream like a cloud, you know? Just, wow, look at that cloud. I'm that cloud. He's relating. And it's not just the clouds, it could be anything. Like, whoa! Last night, I don't know where I was, but I saw, someone said, what's that light in the sky? I said, relax. It's a planet. It's not here to harm you. It's not a UFO. And, oh, I haven't seen that for a while. I said, have you looked up recently? Not only are there planets, but there are stars, and sometimes a comet, and occasionally you'll see the spy satellite snapping pictures of you. And if you look up every night, a different one is there, because we're moving all the time. Don't think too much about it, because nothing is the same as it ever was. So that's a history of my association for 20 years with Kay Abbey Khaled and George Abbey Khaled. George only tangentially, because I learned today he could speak Spanish, Italian, French, Arabic, and a few other languages. But he was an engineer. Engineers aren't supposed to be culturally rich like that. But every now and then, well, I know the Lebanese love poetry because my life was saved by a Lebanese person. Let me tell you that, this is the truth. I used to run open houses for homeless people in Australia. I was evicted because I had 14 homeless people in my home. And I thought, well, okay, this is silly. Why am I doing this for them? Why don't they do something for them? So I bought, or didn't buy, I rented 2 wooden houses, slumming houses, and got the homeless in there to run their own work, right? Well, I used one as firewood for the other, and that was a great lesson. It was true. That was a really great lesson. So I realised then, well, I'm not doing this right. So, okay, start with yourself. So I opened up the second house, so it's underneath an overpass. It was a beautiful romantic setting because you'd wake up in the morning, you hear the birds coughing. You know, it's near the overpass, near the first massacre in Australia called the Hoddle Street Massacre. But I digress. My landlady was Lebanese, and she was psychic. Now, I really like psychic people because you can't lie. They completely see through you. And she saw through me and she said to me, to my fourth eye, she said, I know you've got homeless people staying in my home. My brother wants to evict you, but I own this house. And I remember the people's poet of my country, Lebanon, Khalid Gibran. And as long as I am alive, you have a home for life. Now, I never thought in my wildest dreams I'd be here in Babylon, where the end of the world is being plotted by everywhere except Austin. And where life is such a threatened species that the nice people feel paranoid because the others make them feel paranoid. Right? So I would have still been there underneath the overpass at 7 Heidelberg Road, Clifton Hill, which I did have as an open house for as long as it lasted. But everything is temporary. Happily, so is poetry. And stories, they only mean something when it means something in your life. And anyone can do this. Just stand up and speak the truth, and you do that. And your life is just waiting to be a little story like this. Because Mrs. Saad has long since joined the Lebanese angels in heaven. And when I left, by the way, she gave me a pen to write new poems with. And that's why I write poems every day. I type them now. But the fact that someone like that would do something like that means there's a golden door inside every one of us.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Just a brief interjection. We're talking about a light in the sky. We had a little poem back in the 60s, which, of course, you may recognize it as a much older poem that goes back to Mother Goose, but it goes something like, starlight, star bright, first star on sea tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might. Oh, nuts, it's a satellite.
Ah, that's good. Yay!
Whoever's next. Oh, you got a proclamation. Christmas proclamation. Oh, yes.
You signed it.
Oh, signed it, yes. I think I did.
Sign the other one.
I signed somebody's. I'll sign this one. Come on.
You've been doing the Facebook thing at all. Now I talk really.
Go talk to us then.
We are born to make a difference in this world. Sometimes it's small, sometimes it's celestial. It's not about how big you are, but how you spread your wings upon others and how they can grow from you. This poem is actually kind of a proclamation. It's called A Christmas Promotion. Poet Troubadour, poet Voyager, with his poetic gypsy spirit, Thom the spirit spreading the universe around the world. Thom the world poet has earned many a worldwide title. That upon a Christmas proclamation by diverse artists and friends, that Thom the celestial poet has won this cosmic aura promotion, earning a sparkling star persona presence in heaven's walk of fame. That his poet spirit promotes poetry and the arts with stellar solar waves. From now on, if you see the brightest star with this halo, Thom the celestial poet is guiding you as a true friend. That along with the Thom the celestial poet title, we as friends and artists universally award the Thom the celestial spirit commendation award.
Yeah, give it to everyone.
Here. orange chocolate decadence.
Well, yeah. Now we're talking. That's my language, chocolate. Anyway, so today I got this card from my country. Now my country was taken over by white people. You know. No, you've seen
I know.
Not really.
Yeah, I know. I just
They're
watched
pretty
last
pink,
night,
you
yeah.
know. Anyway, they call me white. I wear black. Anyway, bottom line. So, my friend lives on Bribey Island. Bribey Island's a white man name. The indigenous name is Kuri. Now, the people of the north of Australia are called Kuris. If you're lost in the bush, always remember you can do this. Carries all through the bush and they can hear where you are. You don't need a megaphone. The people down south are called Murrays, and the name of the major river in Australia is the Murray River. That's spelled in the white man way. The big rock of Australia is called Uluru. It used to be called Ayers Rock. So I'm going to tell a story about the day. It hadn't rained in the desert for 10 years, okay? It hadn't rained. And one time, it was the third time I'd been to Uluru, and it rained. Everyone went into shock. What's that in the sky? What is that stuff? They hadn't seen rain for a decade. No, truly they hadn't. But what I saw was this. There's this huge rock, right, in the middle of nowhere, next to another pile of rocks called the Olgas. No one talks about them. But these rocks change colour all the time. Can you imagine looking at it? The people sit there for a day staring at it because the colours are always changing. Now the main colour that you've seen on your photographs of Uluru is of course orange, you know, because the heat comes down, piece of rock. What we don't know is that 10% of the rock is above and 90% is below. And it takes about 2 hours to walk around the rock, okay? And there's caves inside the rock and people live there. The Naranja tribe, speaking Pitjantjatjara. And the amazing thing is, when the rain came, the colours changed. So it starts off with orange, right? Red, really red, hot day. Then goes to orange. Then bit by bit it turns sort of light coloured. And it comes down into sort of like a strange vermilion colour, and then a grey colour, and then it turned black. The rock turned black in front of our eyes. There was the rain coming down all over it. And I watched, and the clouds were kissing the top of this huge rock. And after about 15 minutes, the power of the rain clouds started making waterfalls. I counted 13 waterfalls just splashing down the face of the rock, like little stream white waterfalls. And the primary myth of the indigenous people is the rainbow serpent. And I didn't know what that was all about until that day, because when the rain came down, it went into sort of little pools of water which we call billabongs. Billabongs are just where freshwater crayfish live and where snakes like to hang out. And that's what the rainbow serpent's all about. Snakes like being the water. Snakes are water. Water is snakes. It goes like no straight lines. No snake has a straight line. No water has a straight line. It came down those rocks, sinuous and rills, made its own appearance, formed its own. And it was just a magical moment. I lost everything. Everything got wet. My passport, whatever's left of my money, all my clothes. I was so happy. It was just one of those little moments where you just realise. Another moment I had that was really good. I was living in Sydney, if you call it living. I was living in this little cockroach squat called in Erskineville. My friend comes. Here he is later, Drew, he comes. But my friend comes and he said, "Are you happy here, Thom?" And I thought about it for about 5 seconds and I said, "Nah, I'm not. Get me back to happiness," which for me was at that time Melbourne. Melbourne is sort of cultural capital of Australia. They have a lot of yogurt there. But thank you very much. Oh yes. Well, here we are. So he said, "Okay then, get on the back of the bike, Thom. We'll get you out of here." So I'm in the squat and at Erskineville, and I put all my stuff in the backpack, right? And like Julien, living just with a backpack, nothing else. And I get on the back of this 1200cc Laverda road bike. 1200cc, right? Now, the thing you need to know is this: I'd never been on the back of a motorbike before. I'd never been on the front of a motorbike. I'd never been on the side of a motorbike. I know what motorbikes are from a distance. I've seen people, crash and
burn, but I mean to say, this was new to me. So off he goes, and he's zooming along 100 miles an hour. Now you gotta know that I left claw marks on his leather jacket. And so he slowed down. And he said, Thom, you gotta trust me, man. When I go around the corner, don't go the other way. You know, just which was the natural thing. If you want to live, you bend the other way because you got 30-degree angle there, and then you're coming close to the actual death on the roadway. I don't go for that. I think I'm all for life. So I said to him, look, I trust you, but you understand, I haven't done this before. And so he said, okay, I'll slow down a bit. So he went down to 95 miles an hour, and this is on a motorbike, road bike. And I tell you this, I was so happy. You know why? Because I had my backpack on with everything I owned. I lost everything. It all flew out the top of my backpack. It was one of those army things, disposable, which have you're tied at the top and the tide going, and everything flew out. So all over the Pacific Highway, all the way, everything I owned was there. It was one of those moments of great, unexpected epiphanies. Great joy when everything's taken from you, like Christmas this time. I came through Christmas, I don't know about you. You were tied to Facebook, Julie. You were tied to strange days and all those things, but I came through by myself. And most of Christmas is like family. Right. And it was a nice joy, because I realized then, hey, nothing is the way we think it is. Stories are really important.
Last time for
Rose! Yeah,
Great
Scott!
Scott.
Yeah, great Scott!
Great Scott.
Yeah! Woohoo!
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Oh yeah, she's back! And their sides too! Jolly good. Welcome back.
How are
Take
you?
the bow, take the bow. Give me you.
Had a moment of a sort of resistant epiphany today, and I had to share it because that's sort of what open mics are for. Is you get out there and you say what's on your mind. So this is what's on my mind. So it's better to just go on out of me. It occurred to me as I was speaking, I think it was to Ian, my son, and I said, I started to say, I wrote this thing down yesterday, and it was really wise and wonderful. And then I caught myself and realized it wasn't really wise and wonderful that I wrote it down. It was because I learned it that I wrote it down. So I said, it may be tragic, and this is what I've learned, and this is what I have to share about, because this is what's on my mind, is that if you try to go around your whole life thinking you're going to find happiness, you're probably not. It always just slips away like water through the hands, or a song, or a friendly face in the crowd that you never see again. But on the other hand, if you spend your whole life loving everyone and everything all the time, joy just comes sneaking up on you and starts seeping its way out of your eyes and your ears and your hands and your fingers and everything else. So I've decided I'm going to start making up prayers for a living.
Oh yeah.
And I like this one, and this is the best one I've come up with so far, so I thought I'd share it with you because, it's on my mind. And there are other people who want to get up here in just a second. But this is the best one, and this is a New Year's prayer, and Tom's probably the most cyclical of us, since the rest of us. Well, I call it cyclical. I don't mean like cyclical like cycles, I mean cyclicals like whirlpool sort of, like spinning around typhoon and tornado sort of thing. But it seemed to be connected to the celestial whole solstice deal, and that seemed to matter something to you, and to me it's just a drop in the bucket, it's just another day in the life of anyway. So, it doesn't matter as much to me, but on the other hand, what you said about the 500 years of darkness, no, that was cool, that was something special. It's not often we get 500 years of it's as dark as it was 500 years ago, so that was pretty cool. But on the other hand, this is the point that has to come out, this is the prayer that needs to be made because this is New Year's prayer, and so this is what I'm supposed to be doing here, so this is what I better do. So listen up. You might want to read this to somebody.
Sure.
My prayer is this. May each day bring great... Oh, that wasn't it. Let's start over. Let's try it again. May your each day only add to your enjoyment of those that have gone before and the many that are to come. I wrote something, and like I say this again, I learned it, so it wasn't that I wrote it, it was because I experienced it and I loved the moment I was having it in that I wrote it down. But this is another one I thought was pretty good that I should probably share with you. And it was that we're not looking for Moses on the mountain.
Oh, we're not?
No, I'm not. What I'm looking for is to be good. I just want to be a good person. And I've discovered that the more I pursue being good with my kids or my family or my friends or on guitar or whatever as a poet, the closer I get to God. To hell with what he is, what he isn't, but just pursue his goodness as best you can.
Yes, you
Ciao.
can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Woo! Yeah.
So you have the very first copy off the press. They're not even put together yet.
Oh, here we go.
You have the raw edition. Raw edition of the
Well, Thom can correct us, but
song and lyric.
it's a good thing you're here to
It's not
set
even,
us straight about Australia,
Really?
because Americans know very little about Australia. We know Waltz and Matilda, the jolly swag man jumped into the billabong.
Sing a song.
The toilet water flushes
I used to know.
Opposite direction, yeah.
The swag man jumped into the billabong. You'll never catch me alive, said he. A billabong is the pond, as you say. A jump buck is a lamb, a sheep, a lamb, and swag is a bag of ill-gotten gains.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then back in the 60s, we also had this song. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. Tie me kangaroo down, sport. Tie me kangaroo down. Now tie me kangaroo. And my favorite verse was, "Tan me hide when I'm dead, friend. Tan me hide when I'm dead." So we tanned his hide when he died, Clyde, and that's it hanging on the shade.
Yeah! Roll Paris.
That's right. So that's what we know about Australia.
And on The Simpsons.
And on The Simpsons.
And on Monty Python.
Yes.
Bruce.
Oh, Bruce. Everybody is Bruce. Well, the tassel's hanging from that.
Yeah.
That's right. Actually, I think I've set my VCR, but I think the Monty Pythoners are going to be doing the Graham Norton show tonight.
Did you know they had a reunion in England one night? I stayed up all night, watched The Life of Brian, watched Deborah walking in, and that's it. And now at midnight, the Monty Python reunion. Hi, I'm Eric Seidel. Hi, blah, 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 blah. Hi, good night. And that was it. They did it to the whole of England. They fooled the whole of England.
they just introduced themselves.
That's right, that's it.
Always look on the bright side of life. Okay, who else would like to come up here and emote and
Franklin, she's calling your
Ben
name.
Franklin? Oh, Ben.
How about that talking to Facebook?
Here's good Ben Franklin, David Lester Young.
Well,
Who has not signed this thing yet?
wouldn't give it more than she's got something. Forever and forevermore, Thom and lyrics. We have embraced life together, surviving the trials and tribulation, where our love only grows stronger, sharing a never-ending dedication. Forever and forevermore, my sweet angel, we shall sing our duet, united together in harmony, blending a divine melody. Our friendship has endured marriage, where we have grown to complete a family. We blossom with conception upon a miracle giving birth. Forever and forevermore, my darling, We shall sing our duet, united together in harmony, blending our family melody. A family, a father stands proud, a mother cries aloud, while their child creates another, forever and forevermore. Flower vow that they will blossom to make life so grand, where grandkids hold grandparents' hands, walking side by side, where life merges within this forever and forevermore. Holy Spirit of pure bliss. I got goosebumps. Well, that's I think that's the first time I sang in forever. Is it in forevermore?
Is it okay to say something?
It's always
Okay.
okay to say something.
All right.
No, we're censored here.
That's exactly right. No, we can't say things because we're not materialists, really. Even though you look around you and everything is material, largely clothing, right? But it's immaterial. That's material. I'm not being disingenuous when I say disingenuous. I'm not being evasive when I try and avoid things. I just don't want to get to the point, because actually once you get to the point, where are you going to go? What's going to happen after Revolver? Sgt. Pepper? What's going to happen after Astral Weeks? Moon Dance? When you're in the perfect epiphany, what happens tomorrow? Another one? Before Epiphany, chop wood. Why? You haven't got a wood stove. After Epiphany, you get a wood stove. Very nice. And if you're a stone, learn to swim or skim on the surface of things. Don't go going deep on me. These metaphors and mysteries. If you want to see something really good, come tomorrow night at Kick Butt. My friend Summer. They named the season after her. That's pretty good. Well, I like this town. This is a beautiful town, but they named the main street of this town after sex. Congress. Yeah, and I don't go too far south because they named one Slaughter. But I digress. The most important thing is to talk around the point. Because if you ever get to the point, you wonder what's the point. I mean, a lot of people perambulate around the possible. Demosthenes used to say, he was speaking Greek. It's all Greek to me. So I say, spin out your divine mysteries. There's nothing to hide. It'll all be out sooner or later. Did you know that the whole of California is radioactive? No, I'm not joking. It was on Facebook. This guy went down.
It's gotta be true. It's on Facebook.
It's on Facebook. It was. No. I got a friend. He's a musician. He lives in Pacifica, and this guy went down the beach in Pacifica with a Geiger counter. Now the normal radiation count is 30. It was 122 on the beach of Pacifica. 122. Okay. Now all the fish in the Pacific, all the tuna they found, radioactive. Now I don't want to be alarmist, but I do want to be a little bit truthful about the fact that this is still a continuing thing. They're pumping out radioactive water into the ocean, and we are in one great chain of being. So I don't know if you ever heard of the Hathor channeling. You ever heard of that? Anyway, it's sort of like disincarnate entities who try and tell us, hey, human beings, you need to be a bit more wise about the world you're living in because it's a closed system. We used to think it was an expanding universe. Go west, young man. You can always go west. You can always break a border. But in these days, there are police on every border. And you need to know that everything you emit, sooner or later you've got to eat. Say you have a mood, and you put a mood swing out there. Sooner or later that swing's going to come right back at you. Say you feel happy all the time. It's going to come right back at you. You're going to learn to live with yourself because no one else really will, except all of us. And all of us are involved in this. I'm talking about the air we breathe, the earth beneath this concrete floor. I'm talking about the water we drink. I'm talking about the food you're eating right now. It's part of the same poem. That's why we share it. When I first heard this stuff, I reacted as you did. That's just Facebook. And then the reports came in after the radiation came in, the radiation account, a little video of the guy with the Geiger counter walking along the beach, and he says, look, this is the normal part of Pacifica, and there was 32, and I'm going down the beach now, and he had the camera on, 122, 125, 126, and he said, look, this is the professional Geiger counter I've got, and this is what's happening here now. Please at least think about it. So I've been thinking about it, and there's certain things I realised. First is, what do we have control over? Not much. But this is...
Control is an illusion.
Control is an illusion. The first illusion is control and loss of control. And the second illusion is what control? Because we don't really have much. Your stomach tells you when you're hungry, sometimes. And then you still eat crap. I mean, I eat crap because I just really enjoy it. But the stomach says, look, enough of this crap. You know, this is recycling gone crazy. But there are messages everywhere, so we have to talk to each other because we want to be around for the next disaster. Last night I was down by the railway lines. We're waiting for the Amtrak to come through. Every year I go down, it's a religious ritual of mine, like the solstice, and I go down to the hobo Christmas, down by the railway tracks, and they make a little fire like hobos do. We stand around, talk like hobos do, and they open up cans of beans like hobos do, and they have beans, and they have all this bad food from tins and cans, and we have a whole potluck of bad food, and I feel really good. You know, you name it, it's just marvellous. I invited you all, but no one came. I was the only poet there. And eventually, I don't believe this, but this is true, they asked for a poem. Now these are all incredible. They did. You know, I was shocked, because normally, the poet's here. Let's start playing. But last night they asked, so I did the poem about, I'll do it for you now, because it's a really good one. Yeah, it's a true story, because we're storytelling. Well, you all know the fact that I was a bartender, right, in the Outback, you know. You didn't know? Okay. There's a 600-mile railway line that goes from Brisbane to Quilpie. The closest town after Quilpie is Birdsville. Birdsville is famous for one thing. They have a race, a horse race every year, one race a year. People fly in from all over the world to Birdsville, which is in the middle of nowhere, beyond the Black Stump. They watch horses race around the heat. Near that, 80 miles to the east, is Quilpie. Quilpie's the end of the railhead. It's also where they put the cattle on the train. They take them off to be slaughtered. And I went there when I was young to be a barman inside the Breakfast Club and the Imperial. 3 pubs. And I worked with a stripper called Bonnie. And Bonnie used to scratch me. And I said, Bonnie, I'm your friend, why you scratch me? She said, because I like you. And I thought, that's funny. I didn't know people who like, and later on I found out people pay for that sort of stuff. It's true.
You got it for free.
I got it for free, and I didn't understand it. That's like life as a gift, isn't it? 2 men loved Bonnie as well, and they had a duel in the main street of the town, which is the only street in the town, with rifles. So, life is such a small world. I was the editor of the student newspaper. And my accountant comes up and he says, Thom, I want you to meet my girlfriend. It was Bonnie. Way out where the railway ends, and the men must be what the job pretends. There were 3 pubs, hardly any citizens. Pearl was a diver, worked as a stripper, served at the bar with all the customers looking after her. Pete was a young buck, but he was out of luck. The day they had a duel to see who'd own the Pearl. She left on the next train, left a brief note to explain. A wild pearl is precious, it's never worth a death. Pete soon settled down. One day in big town, guess who turned up? Sure was Pearl's luck, they both went off and got married and lived happily ever after. Children. So I told that story, and then I told the story, another true one. I used to hitchhike a lot. I hitchhiked around New Zealand, I hitchhiked through the Outback a lot, but I hitchhiked through the Outback after I was a bartender to try and get to England through the hippie trail, through Asia. But I've forgotten about 2 things. Money, apparently you have to have it, and a passport, apparently you have to have that too. So I was sleeping after many adventures, sleeping on the beach in Darwin, Fanny Bay, and And they're telling me that this is the way, you know, and there are other people sleeping on the beach there because they too want to go through the hippie trail way up to Swinging London, where they could join their friends, Kangaroo Court, which is Earl's Court, where things were happening. Anyhow, I came to this town in the middle of nowhere called Richmond. The local policeman didn't like strangers. And he said to me, son, by the time the sun goes down, you're going to be leaving this town, or you'll be in jail. I can take a hint. So I went to the movies, saw whatever happened to Baby Jane, and then jumped the train. I thought I was the only one. There were 13 other people on the train. They jumped it before me. And then I realized, well, this is good. We've got a 600-mile trip to the mining town of Mount Isa, which is a wonderful thing, but Mount Isa is where they're going to have police. And they're going to ask us for our tickets. And only one person had been silly enough to buy a ticket. So what are we going to do? We resort to group consciousness. We're going to work together. Okay. So when we got off the train, I was the first. I said, oh, he's got my ticket. 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 And the last guy, I got a ticket. I got a ticket. I got a ticket. I got a ticket. We're gone so fast. And that's the true railway story. That's the last night with the Hobo Camp. I told it to them. And they seemed to like it because they all started singing, he's got a ticket. He's got a ticket. He's got a ticket. I've got a ticket. You've got a ticket. Oh, we've got a ticket. Everybody's got a little ticket, ticket, ticket. Yeah.
Or it might have been in the bathtub. And I could tell that everybody I knew, and everybody that I would ever meet, and everybody that would ever love me or I loved, were in the very center of my mind, having a huge, wonderful, ecstatic party. So I went outside, probably from the tub to the porch, and I had a cigarette, and I thought, all those people in the middle of my mind, in the very big center of my brain where the huge, wonderful party was going on, are all saying, well, there's Scott, taking a break out on the back porch having a cigarette again. He could be in here in the middle of all things with the party going on, but he likes to write a poem or two. And I knew why it was. I like to write a poem or two and go on the back porch and have a cigarette. 2, 4, 5, 6, 10 a day. It was to see the world. Because undoubtedly, in the center of all our minds, in the center of all our brains, there's a huge, wonderful, miraculous, loving party going on, and all people are going out of love. In some reason, we come here to see the faces, to dance the dance, to play the game, to sing the song, to watch the sunlight come down on our face, to hear the guitar licks, to eat the tasty bread and muffins and candy and chocolate, all the while knowing we can drift off back to the center of our mind. I love to sleep. Now, I'm lucky because you love to sleep. Isn't it wonderful? You can lay down and say goodbye. I'm going home to all my friends and loved ones. And when you wake up, you say, oh, where in the world did I just come from? I need, miraculously enough, Another coffee in a second.
Oh, yeah. Careful, shoot that. Oh, that's good.
It might as well be called night though, because I went like right out.
Okay.
Okay, summer.
So,
Yeah.
what'd the circle say to the oval after they ran a mobile strip?
Whoa.
I'll see you next time around.
Well, that was pointless.
Oh, deep.
I thought you'd like that.
I do like that.
Your circles and points, they
like
reminded me of that. I can go with that joke.
I went to a movie strip club once.
Ah.
Pointless.
Pointless, I'm not buying it. Wait, what?
Strip club.
Oh my gosh.
There used to be a restaurant called Mars, but it had no atmosphere.
No!
Yeah.
Alright, okay. I'm mixing this one up. Well, if you play something kind of psychedelic for my poetry, that'd be pretty great. Is Drew not fantastic? Like, he just sneaks in there
I
and
gotta get a
takes.
different guitar because this one's out of juice,
You juiced it out.
man.
Ooh, quiet. So yeah, I'm gonna be at Kickback Coffee tomorrow night.
Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Sunday, last Sunday of 2013.
Yes.
But there'll be more to come, I'm sure.
Next year.
Next year. See you next year. No,
Yeah.
wait, Sunday.
Tomorrow. How close it seems.
Okay, so I'm also gonna have CDs for sale for the first time ever, and some songbooks,
Yeah.
and
And friends. You can have friends.
I'm gonna have lots of friends there. I hope I'll have some friends from here there.
She buys the best friends.
Yeah, it's only because my return policy says,
Oh, very good.
just kidding, I love you all.
He's gonna make summer and winter.
Middle of the summer winner. Everyone's a winner.
Everybody.
Anyway.
It's coming.
Longest delay. Delay. I like how there's reverb going.
Yeah.
No, you know.
I was just watching The Grinch with Jim Carrey, and my favorite is when he was, well, I'll just sit here and talk to myself. Hello! But then you're just gonna be saying everything I say, that's real mature. And he's like, I'm an idiot! You're an idiot! And he's like, I'm just gonna talk really quiet so you can't repeat what I say. You're an idiot! That's really funny. Okay, I'm done. So anyway, well, I've only just begun, really.
Oh, yeah.
This one's called ... and it's an original poem that will also be in my songbook and on the CD. I've done some spoken word as well as some solo acoustic music. So anyway, wait for it.
Running all the way.
Wait for it. It's worth the wait. So my middle name's Trouble, but my first name's Worth all the. I'd give anything, and by that I mean everything. Surrender unconditionally to the ever-knowing spirit, knowing full well that there is no peace in knowing. For to know something, you have to claim it, and if you claim to know something, let me tell you, you don't know anything. Well, then the lies start stacking. And we built a fortress with these lies, my nation and I dense with thought-provoking nonsense. Turn up that stereo, it's my favorite top 40 disaster, man. I'm plastered to the wall again for all the past to stare, and I don't care. But I do care about you. And I pray you find the silence to listen to your own heartbeat with love.
problem with ghosts is they don't need to sleep. And even if they've been dormant and kind of pleasant and quiet for a while, something can happen all of a sudden, unexpectedly, that just wakes them right up. And they start raging again. The woman who introduced me to my loudest ghost, back when she wasn't one, had a censorship problem on Facebook. She's taken these art photos. You know, art photos is usually photos which means naked people but not porn. And they were very well done pictures. Excellent works of art, in fact, and KK don't look bad for 52 or whatever. But Facebook apparently objected, or somebody objected, and caused Facebook to step in. Ooh, KK was angry. She came up with more offensive versions of Zuckerberg in the last 24 hours than I even knew were possible. Raging. She's in Facebook jail. She's been censored. Which woke my ghosts. There's nothing that my Kiki hated more than censoring good pictures. So she got mad. And even through all of the dietary changes that I have made in order to quiet her down, started yelling. We downloaded the pictures and joined the rally on my friend's Facebook page, where one guy first reposted one of them, then I decided would repost the other on her wall as a statement of support. Of course, I didn't do this through my own FB, I did it through my ghost's Facebook, adding a curse sevenfold to whomever's been reporting her. So some idiot I don't know got angrily cursed by a force ghost on Facebook today. Through my hands. Censorship made by other people. I mean, if you have your friends and you're posting something that your friends are supposed to see, you better make sure you know your friends are your friends. Why in hell would somebody you know well argue with your artistic expression and get the Facebook cops in on it? But that pissed my ghost off and woke her up. And if you cannot tell by the changes in my accent, yeah, she is awake now still. I did a lot of drugs to shut that woman up. Fat lot of good it did me.
Real right there,
Hey, stop the show. Stop the show. I want you to know, you're in the middle of an open mic. You just do anything you like, that's the rule. So if you feel like, no one does. It's the best kept secret in town. Don't tell anyone. Whenever you leave here, it's a secret. We have a lot of fun. We don't want anyone spoiling it by coming in and just watching us. Unless they're friends or related, you know. So please, shh. You can watch for another 3 hours. That's the first haiku. That's Benjamin Franklin. He's about to do something until I rudely interrupt him. Come on. Rudely. That's so we do. Rudely.
Going on with the poem and lyrics, part of the insanity of being a poet and trying to create your one song. This is actually, I had met Michelle at a meeting at the Peace Park, and she was just a vibrant person, and she's in Cambodia right now, and she showed a picture on Facebook of her parents, and this is where this comes from, and that's more or less something if she would have come up with. That's why my parents are basically her parents. Tropical beach breeze, poem and lyrics. tropical breeze sails my parents' love within the eternal tide, where their footprints intertwine true bliss, sharing the grains in a melody adrift, celestial harmony. Time has blossomed pure with a love that flowered in a mutual bond, where they germinated as a family, where two as one walk side by side along the beach. From near and afar, children come home, even in faraway land, where they all meet for a tropical Christmas, to celebrate gatherings, strain notes together, singing family tunes. Time has blossomed here with love that have flowered in a mutual bond, where they have germinated as a family, where two as one walk side by side along the beach. In a pastel soft sunset, they walk hand in hand, feeling so blessed in life, whereupon starlight twills, heaven vibrates this thrill, hearing their angels quill, aloft a background sound, adrift a tropical beach. Thank you.
Excusez-moi. Oh yeah. Well, I never do the same poem in one night. However, there were very few people here when I did this earlier tonight, so I'm going to do it again for the larger audience. Some friends of mine had a dog named Scooby-Doo, and one Christmas they bought a squeaky toy for Scooby, and he was frightened by this toy. It was a little rubber, it looked like a pea pod, and every pea in the pod had a horrific looking face on it that just scared the living daylights out of this pooch. So this is Scooby-Doo and the Hideous Object. It's kind of a Greek epic. A gift it was of a Christmas morn to the mongrel Scooby-Doo, from a young man and his mother, a squeaky toy green and new. The object shook the very soul of that mixed-bag shaggy hound, who with yelp and bark fled living room, in a terror sudden and profound. Oh, horrid thing born of Hades' realm, why do you taunt good Scooby so? Why squeak thee with a harpy screech whenever trodden under toe? Must you take the form of Peapod, each pea a mocking garish face? Must you lie as though in ambush when Scooby stumbles on your space? Thou sextet of hideous homunculi, each bearing a frightful sardonic grin, get thee thence to nether regions, away from noble Scooby's den. Oh, Scooby-Doo, your home is safe now from that evil talisman. It is hidden safely from your sight, at least till you're bad again. Thank you. And I will do this one for the last time this year because it's very seasonal. There used to be a block, well, this block is still there, but they don't have this tradition anymore, between Guadalupe Street and Cedar Street on 37th Street, and they have the most fantastic holiday lights. Had nothing to do with Christmas, either profound or profane, but it was wonderful, and I really miss it. It went on for like 15 years, almost 20 years.
26?
26 years?
26th Street.
No, 37th Street.
Yeah.
I found an ironic angel on 37th Street. I found an ironic angel on 37th Street. at Christmastide not long ago. I wasn't looking for an angel. I usually disdain Mesopotamian mythological beings. But it was filled with light and illuminated its share of fence and shrub and sidewalk from the dark. I miss the holidays on 37th Street and return there each solstice just to see if the neighbors on that block between Cedar Street and Guadalupe have had the wherewithal to deck their houses and yards and lawns with the most non-Christmassy paraphernalia in Christendom, Jewry, and Islam. It was a tour much fresher than the Trail of Lights, lost on the dreary carloads of gawkers, just driving through. You had to get out and walk to appreciate the pure creativity and artistry shed on each house on that brilliant block, metastasized to the connected Cedar Street. Front yards were festooned with choicest kitsch, from porch to tree to driveway. A motorcycle might be bound in luminance. A Halloween skeleton might wear a Santa cap. A toilet seat might serve as a decorous wreath. And a cross-street necklace might shine from telephone pole to pole. The house in the middle on the north side was where the tradition got its start. You could tour the property fore to aft, circling the merry dwelling. Not a religious or commercial icon would you find on the blinking wall. Displays set off by black tarp siding, but there would be cactus Christmas bulbs and those of cowboy boots and pill bottles glowing from within. Their electricity meter spun like a compact disc, while a plastic pail begged, "Please donate for utilities." The couple in the house where the 37th Street lights began moved away, and the tradition began its slow decline. I visited there the other day. The clever pagan fringe element was gone. One solitary suburban frontage showed the usual Santa and reindeer set from Just Anywhere, USA, and there was no ironic angel on 37th Street. And then one final one, a New Year's poem for a new age, a new era. It's time for a new calendar in the year of 14. We celebrated a year early when the millennium began, so next time, next century, we'll get it right for once. 2001 will be the year one of the new era, NE. The year before will still be the year 2000, but OE. Or we could keep the historian's common era, CE. Christians could still reckon by Anno Domini, as the Jews could go on numbering their years as always, and the Chinese would keep going through their zodiac. But the common system would count from NE1. BC and AD were miscalculated by church fathers whole centuries after the life of Jesus the Nazarene. Whenever we set the beginning of an era, it will be arbitrary. So we might as well reset it back to 1 right about now. Just think of how much easier Roman numerals will be. For a few years anyway. That's reason enough to do it, don't you think? Thank you.
Speaking of calendars, this is just a response on the calendar thing.
Calendars and calendars.
I have a new calendar that pretty much works a little bit better. A calendar that begins around the time we started making airplanes and around the time relativity was being conceived. A calendar that begins with the spring equinox of 1904. And therefore the year begins with spring. March 21st, that makes more sense, but that would be first Aries. Might as well just call the months along with the zodiac, I figure. It's the calendar conceived when Aleister Crowley received the Book of the Law, which puts us at around the year 109. And that really does make more sense, because the previous gigantic chunk of time beginning with approximately Jesus kind of makes sense as an age. Things hadn't been all that drastically altered. The last century or so has been nothing but drastic alteration, inconsistency, change, and movement. Well, a level of flexibility that makes it impossible to pin anything down. So, you know, all of these dates are arbitrary, but I'd say that arbitrary date is just as good as any. So, you know, not until March technically, but happy 110.
I like it. Is there a limit? Time?
No! Boredom. If you bore people, throw yourself out.
Okay. 3. This one's about Stephanie.
Oh, cool.
She writes a lot of color, especially red and white. So, she writes in bloody red on rumpled white sheets. She glows like a scarlet sun in a white hot sky. There's only this life and the great expanse beyond. Sustainability or surrender. Awareness or zombie sleepwalk. The pulse of love splattered on the blank canvas, blood on a page. She writes for passion, both love and rage. And this is for Thom. Leopards leap like lizards inside his brain. He is completely brilliant or totally insane. Either way, what do we care as long as we're entertained? He's listened intently, reads and sees everything, evaluates based on feeling and intuition, and lets the words flow from the spirit to page, making perfect sense to some or no sense at all to others. Sex, politics, news of the day. It's all there if you're real and aware. Rhythms stagger and fall away. Even with all that is said, there is still more left unspoken. With cat eyes he sees in the dark, holding secrets like lynx with reptile blood. He soaks up the sun and releases it in wild bursts like iguanas over asphalt in July.
Whoa, asphalt.
Alright, this one's a little too rhymey, but it's based on some lyrics from some awful music my son listens to. Okay. And they were rhymey too, so. I know who you are. The man you see in the mirror is not who I see or who I know you to be. You have forgotten who you are, you've lost your legacy. African pirates, Scottish rebels, hillbillies, revolutionaries came before you. No wonder you scream and yell. You were born into heaven and seen your share of hell. Revolutionary wars were fought and won by your great-great-grandfathers and their sons. You've become defined by the choices you make and by choosing love over anger and hate. By letting go of the lies of your past to quit lying and take off the mask. Ghetto gangster, tough guy, what are you trying to sell? I know you better than you know yourself. You're better and stronger. You've gone through tough times, embrace them no longer. Life is endurance, not a race. Patience pays. Wait to see what's to come, not react to what's in your face. Choose new every day to find a better way to exorcise those demons and send them back to hell. And remember the stories that your grandfather would tell. Remember who you are, the man you were born to be strong, be gentle, to have more, be free. There is great power in a kind heart, healing and strength in soft words. Frightened people are weak and tear down instead of build. Being gentle is a force-field shield. True heroes put others ahead of themselves and lead with integrity. Thugs try to take and win with greed, and greed only feeds their fears and their need. Violence is self-hatred turned out. Peace is love within. Embrace the light and shadows flee. Learn who you are so you can be free. The best is to come and maybe the worst, but whatever comes, put faith first.
keep up with you. There's any real question for our age. And the nice part about it is that means age, me as a 12-year-old, me as an 8-year-old, me as a 46-year-old, me as a 92-year-old, you as a 37-year-old and a 42-year-old. That means us 100 million years ago as dinosaurs, fly in the skies as pterodactyls, or 200 million years from now being nothing but brain children. The real question is, what are you going to do with what's inside you? Are you going to let it curl away in the corner like some sleepy-headed summer cat? Are you going to pilfer it aside into a box in the closet with all your keepsakes? Are you going to hand it out to friends at open mics or cafes? Are you going to let it beam from you like the sun on a December day when all the world seems nothing but a song? And inside you want to share and you want to make outside. You want to go past time to that place where everything is an embrace. The question of our age is not how old you want to be, but how free are you? Are you free enough to set aside the anger and the rage and the bitterness and the soft little morsels of tissue that scar you up inside? Are you strong enough and brave enough to set all those outside your door so the trash man can come and take them away for you? And after that, everything's gone and you're sitting on some step somewhere and you say, man, I am so flipping glad, my children, so flipping glad to be alive. Not because I'm one man in a crowded universe of 7 billion people, but because I'm one man in a crowded universe of 7 billion people, and every last one of them is my brother and my sister and my friend. I just want to keep falling in love. I want to make the relationship I have with my world not one of heaven and hell, because I've been divorced and that's not something I want anybody to go through. I want to make it a relationship that says those words that the poets say and sing in my ears. It's the grace. It's the timber falling in the woods on a late night when all around are nothing but owls. It's a flock of seagulls on a beach and a whole universe watching the moon do its work as the waves roll in. I have a piece of the universe inside me and I just want to share it and put it out there so everybody can also do the same for me. I like being awake. Thanks.
Yeah! Done. Alive and well. Back with us. Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Christian.
The truth
truth is, this aching in my chest could be like the heartburn from someone who is starved in a war prison, tortured under severe conditions only to arrive in the States where a great selection of all food is conveniently on every corner, and the POW gorges on greasy jalapeno cheeseburgers, and then suffers as his body recovers. But mine is never revealed, because it is for the release and the searching, the digging in trash cans for treasure, that my broken heart yearns for a feast it is never fed. I have so much to give, so much adoration and love, to where can I pour it out? Raining like a storm cloud, black and heavy, barely to contain. Then the lightning and thunder gives permission, and I can devour the empty lakes and oceans and dried up riverbeds with all that I have. Am I to be arrested again, to be confined again, imprisoned within myself, because I took risk and allow the downfall of everything I want to rain down on the one who is willing to drink the continuous spring of my desire to love? Then cuff me and carry me away. I can bear it no more. The fire terrorizing my insides, carving air to blaze all that I am, I dream about. Oh, needing relief in all forms of one that is so gifted at giving and making a world, an empire, beyond jails and into majestic possibilities. Are you a prison guard because you fear me? Yes, you should. I'm scary. I scare myself. I'm fire and rain all at once. Set me free, or I'll vaporize before my legacy even begins. The truth is, I want to free myself. Yeah. But just don't know how. I need to capture me and never let go.
Oh, yeah! Some of us are totems, some of us are icons, some of us are partial human beings. So that's why I've got 3 different books here. 3 different books.
Only 3?
I know, I've got a lot more there, but we got a long night. And the first 6 people who perform get to take the flowers, because flowers and chocolates and poetry.
Flowers to everybody who walks.
Yeah. What's life for? I mean, when you're born, what do you got? When you die, what do you got? In between, you got to carry the rest, right? So share the load. Help yourself, beautiful flowers. Take them away. You too. Yeah, you found this place. It's a secret. So you just take this and try and explain to people. Anyway, I am a cat. I find it hard to explain to people who don't understand cats. But cats dig cats, and they know. It's a beautiful cat hat. I love that. It has a point set here. It's gorgeous. Oh, it's free. But I digress. There are some people amongst us who are dogs. I do not say that in a derogatory manner, because indeed, I was listening to someone who loved horses. She loved horses so much that she got all these awards for horse riding, whatever that is. I think let the horses ride. The riders ride themselves, but I digress. She had all these awards and they filled up the whole house, till finally she had the choice of going to UT or keeping the horse. So what did she choose?
The horse, of course.
They sold the horse. Yeah, this is what humans do to humans. So I urge you all to be cats. Cats don't sell anything. Who wants a cat book? Cat book, anyone? Yeah, sure. Which one? You pick. Oh, random. What the hell? Anyone else for a cat book? Cat book? Okay. It's hard enough to explain what you've been through already, I know. But we have to ourselves in the morning say to people, well, I was at the Fulton's Cafe and anything happened. It was sort of like anything. So this is the book we put out each year. This is the first one that happened 5 years ago. And it's a benefit for the Humane Society in Salado. And I'm saying this because if you put cat poems in to Salado, to tablerock1@aol.com, they'll probably come out in a book like this. But this year, unfortunately, in the interest of equality, there's going to be cat tails and dog tails. I myself find it very hard to coexist with dogs because dogs are on Town Lake, dogs are on the hike and bike trail, dogs are at the, what's that place where they have the concerts? Oh, don't worry about it. They have dog parks. Dog. And what's a cat going to do amongst a world of dogs? Sylvie, will you save me? You know about cats. Tell them all about cats. Sylvie's an incredible artist and she does cats and lions and other carnivorous art. So I've got 2 more cat books. Any cats out there? Cats?
I'm a cat and a dog.
Ready? Ready?
I read them all.
Oh, but have you written a cat poem? That's the whole point, is to instigate more cat poetry. That's the point. Whatever the point was, that was the point. So I say, send your poem to tablerock1@aol.com. If you can do it pretty soon, you may come out at the Table Rock Poetry Festival, which is February 6, 2014, which is at the Salado Table Rock Amphitheatre, just off Royal Street. Where for one night we have a poetry festival. You come in, read cat poems and dog poems, and they eventually come out in a little book like this one. A benefit for the Humane Society for the little cats and dogs that need to be snip, 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 snip. You get my drift? Otherwise there'd be a lot more to talk about. January 5th, brother. January 5th. That's next year. It's going to happen so far. I'm sure you are. We're all doing one. But in the meantime, in the dream time, this microphone.
I have a real cat.
You have a real cat.
Yeah, real cat, and I don't write cat poems, but I have cat art. I have humans that are cats, with cat tails, cat faces, and things like that. Anyway, I see that cats and the humans kind of mixed together. So this is not a cat poem, and this is called Land in Los Feliz. And if anybody knows it's out there by LA, where a lot of hippie people hang out. To have come full circle, circles around the moon, bursting sparkles around the sun, carefree, slipping through the rainbow, pink aglow. No one could hold me, no one could touch me, burning hot and fast, trembling by the ocean, falling into fantasies, oils swimming into eternity, hold barely onto a canvas, overloaded. Now I stop and see a forest in the city, become the eye of the hurricane, the only spot intact as the earth slips and slides. Hands reach out to touch the magic. No one knows why, only that she is. And now I land on 2 feet and join the human race, walk beside the lion. I have come to finally be contained between the skies of black and blue and the earth, pain-soaked humanity, pushing up daisies on doomsday.
Here's Ben Franklin. Amazing but true. He's got 3 points in his hand.
I got a point. I don't have my investor, so I'm not an investor poet tonight.
Nope.
Well, you have a choice, either some haikus.
Locus.
Okay, I guess the other choice is another poem lyrics where you get the joy of listening to my lovely voice.
Haikus.
Haiku. That's what I thought.
Okay.
Loaves and fishes meal. Pope Francis' homeless concern. Bling shall be denied. Backpack belongings. Sleep starvation cardboard mat. Homeless church meal ban. Mother's devotion. Guardian angel feeling. Love's instinct passion. Heartbeats musical. Warm campfire circle embers. Hand in hand friendship. Father Time winners, poets in quill hibernation, freezing verse in place. Spring masterful space, where terse thaws alight your mind, Mother Nature wins. Dawning bird chorus, good morn sailing sound, tranquil, cerebral currents. Dancing butterfly, morning wildflower fragrance, fresh air levity. Bubbling brook bubbles, sparkling water spring spirit, fanning bright rainbows. Rosebush hand pruning, delicate silken petals, pressed Bible pages. Thank you.
So I've been working on a songbook, and I'm going to read one that's actually a song, but I'm just going to read the lyrics. Lately, it seems the day-to-day has gotten in the way of sustaining, so just float away, just float away into the deeper waters where the current's stronger, but the water purifies, the river floats on by, and I'll be floating with that river flowing, and I'm in the flow of life, in the flow of life. Just float on by. So maybe, even when I'm gone, I'll still be floating on and bathing in the cleansing waters of our great-grandfathers. And I'll be floating with that river flowing. The water purifies, the river floats on by, and the deeper waters where the current's stronger, I'm in the flow of life, in the flow of life. Just float on by, in the flow of life. Mm-hmm. I want Thom to test me here. I'm going to read the other one on that page, but I'm going to do it by memory. It's called I Am.
Yes, you are. So far, you go.
So are you. I am a healer by nature, so what are you looking at me strange for? Yeah, there seems to be some situations. Well, address, assess, we'll get this figured out. So, just to avoid complications, I'm going to keep things real. That means no deviation from truth or life that I deal with every single day. Every day's an opportunity. Chance to withstand and uphold that immunity from the game we play to avoid any scrutiny. And I dream of the day I'm surrounded by community. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
So stand up, stand straight, feel that inner J surging through your system like it's got no blockade, getting stronger every moment because nothing's in its way. Now how are you going to worry about yourself getting paid? Because as soon as you ask is as soon as it's made, all you got to do is get yourself out of the way. So right now is the best moment of my life. And right now is what we get every time. Things are changing, rearranging, contemplating ways. What we're thinking and creating with our brainwaves affects the surroundings. So deflect that surrounding negativity. There's no sense in drowning complacently. Be able to be. Now people, don't misunderstand me. I'm not a prophet. I ain't no missionary. I've just been given something extraordinary. This insight that I'm alive and what that can mean. And I want to know, do you know you're alive? Because I'm here to remind you you're alive! So say goodbye to the thoughts that impede the things we don't need, and we all will thrive.
Absolutely right.
Flip the script now. He's gonna play guitar for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You play guitar for me.
You play guitar for me.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's good.
Okay.
Drew the Poet, fantastic orchestra as well.
This is a poem called Artemis Fire. It's going to be one of our songs, but it's not ready yet. So,
And so play something kind of dissonant and angry, and then make it happy later. I'll just start reading and you just do whatever. Okay. Kool-Aid peacock anger game. Trashing others to gain praise. Rainbow colored poison fame. Stinging shame. All the same. Fury feast survivalist. Put me to the lipstick test. Prosecutor, jailer, judge. Your assassins will be free. It's a generational disease. Ishtar, protect my boundaries. Ericura, blossoming. Nemotona, sacred space. And bold as Freya, in your face. Rhiannon, sorceress. Eggshells, jade priest. Ignite it. Determined Bridget. Nights, those who persist. Don't back down. Uphold her crown. Fury, feast, antithesis. Sarasvati reclaims it. Create your own magnificence. Golden crown. Golden chance. Spiral dance.
Two separate songs or one long one? True. That's one long song? Okay. You guys hear I like some long?
No, every Saturday except the first Saturday, which is because they're going to show us making a big here.
I get it.
When you come here, you'll get
Ready to go?
I could make a poem while you're calling it.
Whoa! Yeah, good. That's good.
I love saying
No,
I mean, I have to make a bunch when I make it. Yeah.
Whoa. Okay, we'll be quiet now. We apologize. I apologize. No, we're not done.
So this one's
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wait, wild.
this one's the last one that finished my 5th book. So it's kind of like a
5th book.
Yeah.
Where have I been?
I know, right? A long stint with cancer.
Right.
The acid taste in the back of my throat, clenching my pulse and making a show of my ability to not cry during a business transaction. That is what today is. What once was a love affair bound by vows, destined for forever, sums up to paperwork and cash exchange for breaking a contract once signed by God. Or was God really there when he and I said our promising words? He wasn't welcomed. And that is why I'm choking back tears and trying to stomach this breakfast of eggs and a bottle of kombucha. I watched this marriage get the disease and went to the doctor's office hoping for recovery, hoping for a cure, but the blackness spread, eating the life out of our bond. Like a hungry death attacking the comfort, the dreams, the beauty, weakening our resolve, until finally all that was left was consent, to realize there was nothing else to do but terminate. Now on my run one day, in the coveted greenbelt, it hit me, boom, it's over. I bent over in anguish, wailing, clenching at my dying heart, crying out, why? I crushed my future ideas and castles once built, letting the mongrel army attack my insides, cursing love and all its lies and misconceptions. And that's what I get for discommunicating my instincts, for banishing my rationale, and climbing into bed with the first possible suitor, believing I didn't deserve better. Convinced by my mother at the time that I was lucky to have anyone willing to put up with me at all, let alone be my husband. Now this food in my mouth is tainted with fire sauce, yet I feel nothing of a burn in my mouth. I am numb. The lack of entitlement put me at this courthouse hospital, reading last rites to the last 15 years of my life, the last will and testament to romance. So what do I deserve? I admit that I don't deserve anything without my God's invitation. So today is a funeral after a long stint with cancer. A long distance journey to realize that this day is my reformation. This day is my birth into a world designed by my Creator, who actually loves me. He has cultivated a recovery and placed my rightful seat at a throne where my birthright was paid for. My dowry to wed the man of my dreams can be alive and busting down the castle walls to conquer this decaying heart. Now until then, the tears are dropping and the funeral is here, and I am walking away from the tombstone with the flowers in my hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
I want for you. This is brand new.
Yay! Brand new.
Yeah.
It's called Never Go Back.
Right.
Choking vines from above and behind, strangle me, I'm deaf, dumb, and blind. The hangman sways in the breeze, chattering teeth as I slowly freeze. Never go back again. Never go back.
Yeah.
Running from the ghosts in my head, I'm a zombie, I'm already dead. Stalemate ends, it's the death of me. I'm in prison, and you're scotch-free. It was doomed from the very first. I lost my soul from the moment of our birth. Never go back again. Never go back. Here's another one. This is also brand new.
I hope I end up singing that. I like that.
You're welcome, Julien.
Yeah, that was good.
This is called The Noose. The sorrow is returning. I embrace defeat. The emperor is burning. The story is complete. Old hell, you have no fury, like a woman scorned, empties her curse upon me, surrounding me with thorns. She changed her masks, like changing clothes. It leaves a stain upon my soul, piles wreckage into stages. The raven calls out nevermore. This paralyzed man hanging above a poison pool, the cards I chose all evil, the face of death and the fool. The kiss of death stings softly, unholy, vile drug, impossible game finished, such a curse is love. Locked outside your velvet gold mine, the violent end, a crush, a corpse lays charred and blackened, returning to the dust.
Yes.
I wrote a song that is a little bit more playful, but it's the same topic that we're going over. So, and it's been a while since I've thought of it or sung it. It's one of the few songs I haven't actually written music to accompany. It's pure a cappella right now. Okay. Oh, hello, we meet here again, and I know it wasn't really you, so we just pretend to be distant acquaintances, a pure coincidence, and I don't care for it to ever happen again. You were only just a friend, you were only just a friend, you were only just a friend and my lover. Forget the other. So I sidestep to your forward and we're dancing in place. I don't want you any closer, just get out of my face. Yes, I see you're with another and you're doing just great. So I'm gonna leave and you can have the run of the place. You were only just a friend, you were only just a friend, you were only just a friend and my lover. Forget the other.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not quite the same. It's great.
Wow, I love the creativity tonight.
Yeah.
There's a spark tonight. I like when it hits like that. I'm not going to sing this one because frankly I can't stand my own voice.
Aww.
Well,
it's
just
good for you. You know what, Leo?
Yeah, it's good. It's good for me. I've had enough for today. I'll keep trying. You know, maybe I'll get in tune later. In tuned. Okay, I'm gonna read this more. This is actually my poem lyrics. So I'm gonna just read it more as a poem. It's called 8 Cross Celestial Seas, and it's actually A-cross Celestial Seas because I want a little connotation. Drift beside me, my sweet angel, share my celestial, magical music carpet, where we can sail together in essential mellow mood melody, as lovebirds singing duets. Let us intertwine divine notes to weave our love together, in ecstatic satin woven words, to create such static friction it thunders a magical harmony. Let us sail our verse adrift the celestial sea, inside a divine tune of peace and tranquility. Let our voices sing under the stars, creating universal harmony. Let us intertwine divine notes to weave our love together in ecstatic satin woven words, to create such static friction it thunders a magical harmony. Let us use our magical music wand to cast a spell of love in people hugging each other, singing divine melodies upon angelic horses, saying we must love each other across celestial seas. Thank you.
Well, now that there aren't any children here, I'll finish the thing I was starting on earlier yet. This is the real rant I was going at in the first place. Our friend KK, who is a brilliant woman, a talented musician, a very skilled and cultured human being, posted these pictures on Facebook. And yes, she happens to not be wearing anything in them. But they were very well done. It's not fucking porno, yeah, it's art. In the one where she's got the sword, she's got this thing set up where she's like sword fighting herself. And there is such a depth of psychology to this. There is such layers in this thing. But still some fuck off fucking whorebag asshole decides to censor her, yeah. This is not okay, and this woke me. For those of you who do not recognize my voice, some of you do. Some of you saw me clean house once. Anyway, why is anybody so afraid of seeing a pussy? I mean, half the human race has one, yeah? Don't they look at their own? And most of them, yes, yeah. Half enough, right? I don't give a fuck yet. Fuck the numbers. Anyway, like most people, like, yeah, technically most people have one. And most of the others are trying to get into one yet.
Or they missed the one they came out of.
Something, yeah, either fucking way. So why in hell does a picture of a pussy piss off so many fucking people? Why do some people get all fucking weird? I mean, if a woman fucking reported her, you know, what the fuck's going on there? You know, doesn't she even look at her own? I mean, really, what traumatized her about the fucking fact or presence of a pussy in a photograph? As for men, what the fuck is your problem, dude? You know, if you're gay, this has no meaning to you. Why should you even bother? If you're not, then what the fuck problem do you have? I mean, it's not like KK looks bad. She may not be a young woman, but she looks damn good for most people's age. So this is not a fucking, what the fuck? You know, the whole thing just pisses me off. I think it largely goes back to the religion issue, of course. The religions of most of the world have been afraid of pussy for thousands of years now. You know,
Why they're run by men.
right, even though everybody comes out of one, and everyone else is trying to get back into one yet. So either fucking way, what is the fucking issue here? Why? I mean, fuck, it's a picture. How can a fucking photograph hurt anybody anyway? Like your children might see it? Well then, just tell your children, yeah, you come out of one, what's your problem? What's wrong with children knowing, yeah, I came out of there? Like, Jesus, Mom, that's an awful small space. How did I ever come out of there? I don't know, but you did. It's the miracle of birth. We'll explain more later when your hormones kick in, all right? What is the fucking problem here? Yeah, I didn't go on this rant when there were children here.
No, you didn't. Thank you.
I censored the Kirsten, but now she is uncensored and angry because our dear friend has been fucking interfered with. So today, we reposted that picture through her Facebook. The pronouns get confusing when you carry this many ghosts.
Yeah, it's true.
We were having a conversation with KK today, 3 ways. Part of it was him, part of it was me, part of it was us. And sometimes I took the lead and made my own comments. And sometimes he took the lead, but even when I made my own comments, he wouldn't let me misspell anything. I mean, this really does get confusing. Being a committee gets confusing anyway. Okay, I've got my own accent back. Yeah, being a committee gets confusing anyway to begin with. And she comes in and out and takes over and screams in her own voice. By the way, Thom,
Yeah?
if there's ever another open mic host we need to flat out get rid of, that is just a royal pain in the ass and no one else will quite be as rude as is necessary, just walk past me and say, Darth Kiki. And then the next time I go on stage, I'll rip him 9 new assholes. So in case we ever need to get rid of another Corsby, just tell us. Just tell us.
We've got nice people now.
Invoke her holy name.
Headhunters every Monday night now.
I know. I'm hosting the 19th, remember?
Yes.
Or you informed me of that at least.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm game for it.
Okay.
We'll try to definitely do that then, because it's always a show.
I said to Drew, Drew, you've got an incredible gift of music which very few people have got. And he said, Thom, I am also a poet. And I said,
Yes, you.
You're a poet?
Yeah. Damn right.
Show it.
Can I play, please?
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, you can play my guitar.
Yeah!
It's on.
That's alright.
Can't guarantee it's easy. This is called Go Get the Keg.
Yay!
The Friskies are tasty with ketchup and toast. Only shame hurts me, it's what I fear most. I'm French kissing panties that you left on my floor. And what will you find? You'll replace me for sure. Well, some ways you might, but someday no way. No one will worship all that you made. Someday somebody that you love will leave you. What can you do? Stalemate ends now as you burn at sea. All of that time, but you're not with me. I'm torching your memory with wet cigarettes. I only half want, but I can never forget. The glory of passion, your blood I embraced. And I'm pulling my chain to your aftertaste. And I'm so sick. Go ahead and drain my head. But excuse me while I tap this keg.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is pretty big, alright. And she's just this there is this. Okay. Alright. This is a little bit called Bird Song. This is written on September 22nd of 2010. Maven, full moon in Jupiter. Spiral Sundance, flowers blooming. Mother Nature's endless ruling. Fires burn, We cast our joy into the summer sky. Nighttime comes. It's time for cooling. Fall is patiently returning. The song will change, just like the tuning of bird song from above. Weaving ancient spells, twisting love and joy, with backs arched in lust, creation's sacred toys. Wisps upon the wind, the goddess gathers seed. Children climbing trees, born again as leaves. We wash the fruits in the grain, they sustain and erase pain. Laughter loud as rain, gathered in her grace. Summer's harvest full, moon dances ensue. Embracing trusted friends, the eternal cycle spins and spins and spins and spins and spins and again and begins again. Mike.
Yeah.
Do I need to play backup for you?
Oh, well, double power.
Double power.
Stereo. Yeah.
Star Wars. Like an orphan whose parents survived, I am cast out into the sea, with no compass to guide me into the new voyage of learning what it's really like to be loved. Now, the terrific pleasure of escaping the clutches of dying for acceptance is close to learning you have an inheritance that can resolve any question you may have had in regards to being royalty. Like the vigilante Princess Leia, armed with only will and a blaster stolen from a stormtrooper, I run through the Death Star and escape into an awaiting vessel set to take me to the rebellion's HQ.
Yeah.
My parents were killed, one by a broken heart, another by hatred. Now for Halloween, I used to dress up like her, with my long brown hair and signature buns on either side of my head, and loved Han Solo with all my heart. I still do. Now, you know that fool ain't all that, though. I mean, he got caught.
Yeah.
And if I do resemble that of a Skywalker princess, I am sure that I, too, can conquer the overwhelming loss by acquiring a new family as she did, because I have. Not only am I adopted by my darling loving children, but I gather a namesake from all who I come across, because I know that I am indeed the hierarchy, because I recognize you.
Yeah.
We have a family holiday together, and it was free from all the desperate attempts at pleasing other people and clouding how successful I am, because I do everything right. I have dirt on my face, I'm a big disgrace, and I enjoy admiration, stimulation, and celebration. Now, the pirates claim that the waters I voyage are not the sort that can be easily traveled. Ha! I welcome it. I set forth, alas, my lady. I welcome it and I set forth, knowing my flag is set, and I am the Pirate King, and it is a marvelous thing. How are you doing?
Gotta give one up for the person who made me start doing spoken word poetry at all in my existence in this lifetime. So this is for Devin Powell, my compatriot, my first bass player. Miss you, homie. Austin Lubbock. Sailing ships, towed like sea breeze glaciers, alternative fixtures never seem to move me, but I stay away because they did.
Yeah.
Blowing proportions is quite alternatively correct in stabilization rooms, yet tourniquets like blood, like liquid beetle afternoons, take my talents and spit upon them with baking grease. until I have swollen lips and black eyes, but good looks hurt. And I get totally sand covered in the beaches of my memoric eternal metamorphical subsubstance.
Whoa. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it is.
Drew, what was the metamorphic? What was the substance actually?
Everything is metamorphic, isn't it?
Yeah, but substance is pretty real, wasn't it?
Ooh, I love metamorphic substances.
No, substance.
Get your mind out of the gutter, Julien.
My mind ain't in the gutter, darling.
It never leaves.
What gutter?
Gutter.
Get your mind out of the gutter. It's blocking my periscope.
That should be a bumper sticker. isn't easy.
I'll buy you some. So I can throw them at you. Yeah, I was saying, like, brainstorm.
Go ahead, come on.
We keep a box of panties just to throw them on stage.
Come on. We want to hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you just watch what we talk. You don't want to hear that. Ah, haven't got the book, huh?
This one is German.
I won't say come out. I borrowed it back from the library. I don't know why
That's a pretty hard act to follow. I found another one of my poem and lyrics, and here again I'm going to go ahead and read it more as a poem. It's called Colorado's Full Moon Melody. String a heartfelt mellow mood melody that sachets beside the Colorado harmony, sailing full of moonlight tranquil wave revelry, in sensual campfire sparks sensing river harmonics. Flow Colorado through Texas's heart, from Lubbock to the Gulf of Mexico. Lady Bird Lake, quivering your verse, reflections amid often midnight glows. Strum heartbeats hearth upon sensual sensation, undulating fingers onto Colorado vibration, sounds of peaceful starlight alliteration, sailing imagery of their solar sail dynamics. Flow Colorado through Texas's heart, from Lubbock to the Gulf of Mexico. Lady Bird Lake, quiver your verse, reflection amid Austin midnight glows. Sing aloud campfires, full moon, magical lyrics. Inflame your heart and soul. Feel that belonging, holding hands together in voices singing verse. Where the call stirs up, its celestial longing. Flow, Colorado, through the heart of Texas, share your river of verse upon evening warmth of country bliss beside a full moon melody alongside the Colorado. Thank you.
I wanted to say in the defense of Sylvianne, sensitivity is a cyclic thing. Sometimes we really want to be hurt and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we really want to be a seashell, sometimes we want to be the ocean. Sometimes we want to be the wash of the tide, sometimes we just want to be the full moon. Sometimes even the moon won't even be us, so we say, okay, I'll settle for being a little star. And then you realise Hollywood's full of them, and they're down in the cement and people walk on, so you don't want to be a star. So I want to be the concrete beneath your feet. You say, no, I don't want to be under anyone, so I want to be the sky above you. Look up at the tin roof. Everywhere you go, there's a contradiction. So it's yes or no or ambivalence. I'll settle for everything. All of the above, the full menu. Hero.
Just everything, thank you. Yeah, I gotta go grab my idiot.
Okay.
I'm gonna go grab my axe.
Oh, someone else? Yeah, right.
Do you want to hear another song? Okay, I'll do another acapella.
Hello. This one I'm gonna do tomorrow. It's called Wolf Lion. I'll tell you something. You are a wolf and I like to wear sheep's clothing. But if you notice what I am clothed in, you'll see I'm really a lion.
Oh yeah, you are!
So back off when I tell you to. Get over what I put you through, and we can have a good time anytime you're ready to. I'm not saying it's all on you, 'cause you're gonna do what you gotta do, but don't you ever dare misconstrue my love for you, 'cause I love you. Ooh, I love you. What a silly situation. Crossbreeding, pollination, and despite these complications, I appreciate everything that you've been bringing. We're doing this for a reason, unlikely anticipation, and there ain't no sense in changing for anyone. But I will dress for the occasion. Would you like me to put another sheep on?
I'll be right back.
Put another sheep on the Barbie doll.
Exactly, baby. So I invite you all to the solstice, you didn't come. I invite you all to the Hobo picnic, you didn't come. So I'm going to call this poem, here it goes. Hey, potluck, potlatch, indigenous message for all of us. You can do this. Just invite the whole world to talk while you're doing poetry, to a potluck gathering where each bring their best, have them meet and greet each other, then if they will, share their creative capacities in whatever media is comfortable. Listen deeply, listen deeply, listen deeply, listen deeply, listen deeply. Watch closely, watch closely, watch closely, watch closely. Affirm positively, affirm positively, affirm positively. Then when this process slows down, add more energies. Outdoors, indoors, with friends, acquaintances, strangers. You can spiral dance with the whole wide, deep world when trust replaces fear and joy replaces depression. Last night was Hobo Christmas. We sang, we shared stories, we waited for Amtrak. 3 hours later, finally blared its horn through deep South Austin. Songs continued in the evening. Stars, planets, clouds shared their light with us. This can happen anywhere, with anyone, at any time. It happens every night.
Oh, there you go.
Anybody wants to jump up here and push me off, just feel free. Or I'll just keep talking.
Oh, yeah.
This is called I and I Flood. And this is some angry ass poetry from Bush era. But I think it's still poignant. Because there's still a lot of rednecks out there that like fucking with people. So here's my little message to those fuckers. You want to push me under? You like to keep me down. You say your culture matters. You'd like to see me drown. Because I'm living freely. I make your grandpa frown. I'm the new Rasta Pharaoh. You Nazi redneck clowns. All life is right behind me and thirsty for your blood. You cannot stand in our way. Meet I new flood. You plan to rape and rob me and make me beg in tears. I bear the Green Lord's message. You should bow down in fear. End of the journey, the exodus, hurry, and we're gonna stand on our feet. Death to the labors of the chicken shit slavers, harvest their souls like disease. Here comes immortal chaos. Welcome her to your town. She's giving birth to something. It's gonna tear you down. Cancer for cannibals. And though it breaks my heart, unleash the fire witches. You fools have brought this on. Our grace you scorn and bury. The lies shall be cast off. Majestic Kali comes to bring the liberty you've stopped. And the slaughter ends when freedom is closest to the heart. The new Moses spares the conscious. Witness the lightning rod. End of the journey, the exodus, hurry, and we're gonna stand on our feet. Death to the labors of the chicken shit slavers, harvest their souls like disease.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wow.
Wow.
It's true though, huh? It's very true. Somebody's gotta say it.
I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
It was Christmas Day, actually. I
Two women say it.
I think because I could.
Birthday season.
I don't know. I don't know much credit for the laws and all of that.
It's her birthday season, and she can do it as long as she likes until next year. 14th of June, my birthday, you were here. We're going to do it again here. It's a sad day, so 6 to 9, 14th of June. I'm Gemini, so am I.
That's a lucky number, though, isn't it?
It is a lucky number. Okay. So how lucky can you be to be alive now? Really? Okay, I'll read to
You
you.
look much younger.
I am.
I've often asked, how old is Thom?
I'm
Nobody
younger than
knows.
that. That's true. Because they don't even care. You know, you people care, but I don't. The numbers, what's the number? I used to say it just doesn't add up.
I'm very young.
You are very clever. That's the middle name.
I'm gonna die young.
I got a story for you, Drew. It's a good story. You want caffeine?
He said, I can't leave.
No, you can't leave. No. But this is a true story. I have a friend who's an artist, and she's an extraordinary artist, and she's a poet. She's an extraordinary poet. I've known her for 30 years. And I used to meet her at poetry readings, but she was a very quiet and sensitive soul. And because what she did with her art was, long before it was fashionable, she made only out of throwaway materials. If someone threw away stuff, she'd make art out of it. Anyway. No, you don't. She's in my country, Australia. But I'm glad there's more than one. Because, I know, seriously, I used to know a puppet theatre who only used recycled material for all their puppets too. And they were really good. But the point is that she moved to a little island. When her first husband died, she married again this, he was a famous person in Australia because he was articulate veteran of the Second World War. And he wrote a book about those experiences, a book called The Diggers. The Diggers, in the First World War, the Diggers were the people who were wiped out at Gallipoli. In the Second World War, wiped out in other places. But and what she did was, I'll give you the poem or the story first, which would you like? Poem shorter. Okay, here we go.
1 minute story.
She left her art to care for him, to make sure his health was stable. She left her life's creations. Prior, she would revel in handmade books and art objects, singular astonishments made of the beaches and birds of her living kurum. Now she is quieter, more solemn, for when he left his skin in age and aged condition, she had to administer again to the dispersal of his belongings, to the library of their common knowledge, to the curating of his world, which passed like world wars into regional conflicts. There is a flame inside all of us, for some electric, for others a candle. It can be seen in the lighted eyes of beloved ones who glow in presence when that candle is lit. Its absence makes hollow rooms and long meditations. When life ends, another life returns, we, the living, return.
I'd like to say just a quick word. A quick word of thank you.
Thank you, Drew.
Because rewind to 1992. My friend Devin and I would sit and read Bukowski.
Yes.
And many other books, and mostly Bukowski. But we would sit and read books to each other while everyone else was listening to crap music.
True.
And we would sit and read books to each other and expand our minds. Devin Powell, my compatriot, I love you. He's still living and breathing and still kicking ass in Lubbock, Texas, the home of Buddy Holly. Devin, thank you. Because you brought me to this place. And if you didn't do that, what you did to me there in 1992, I wouldn't be sitting here with all these great poets right now. So, let's give a collective thank you to Devin Powell. And I love you, Devin. I can't sing your poetry the way you would, but I wish I could. But he inspired me. He was the first person who introduced me to spoken word poetry.
Wow.
And if I hadn't had that at the time in my life, I'd already be dead. So, thank you, Devin. And I'm going to make this video available to Devin Powell, because without him, I would not be here with all of you today. So thank you, Devin, and thank all of you, because I could not live without you. Every week I live for this. I live to be here in this moment with you, and you, and you, and you, 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 you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
My pleasure.
Sorry.
That's smart. Just say that.
Love you.
Love you too. It's legal.
Thanks, guys.
T.S. Eliot, everyone loves him, but people don't recognize it. It was Ezra Pound who edited T.S. Eliot. When Julien first came here, he came here because his lover Pasquale, or his friend, died, and he was full of grief. And he read the poetry of his friend Pasquale, who was adopted by Allen Ginsberg as the next leading light of poetry in this country. But I said to him, listen, you're reading the poetry and you're grieving for your poet, the person who introduced you to poetry, which belongs to everyone, but what about the poet inside you? So Julien was shamed into doing original work and doing memorized material from Shakespeare. And when he does, he's magical, but he's concise and all the rest of it. Every one of us has got a door that opens from someone else giving us and passing the baton on, saying, you can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Every one of us. I can remember very clearly there was this poet from Italy who used to perform in the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, naked. He would do from memory, in Italian, the poetry of Dante. And he came to Australia, and Australia, like Texas, is fairly puritanical. And for him to perform naked I used to perform in what they call a Greek amphitheater at the La Trobe University on Sunday afternoons, because it was perfect acoustics. It didn't matter if people came or not. What mattered was the air was blessed by the poetry. And he did that. He put his whole being into his performance. He made me aware that there are no limits except our limits that we impose upon our expression. And if you wait for someone else to say yes, you'll be waiting in vain. You have to say yes to yourself, whatever self you are at the time. So I thank you for the Evans, I thank you for the Drew. The living Drew is here because you're giving what you are, your truth, your power, your harmony, your light, your poetry.
That's right.
And it's really a great gift. Who's next?
I'm going to take me one of these.
Yeah, that's what they're for.
I need some color in my room.
You do. You still get off that Facebook. You're still on Facebook all day long.
I am now.
Sorry.
I had 6 poems published recently in Small Canyons, an anthology, and it was Japanese form poetry, so I did 5 tanka. And he published all 5, much to my surprise. So this is the 5. They're really short, the tanka. And so this is Scorn. Copperhead strikes with wily feminine charms. Bitterness seeps through every pore. Venomous betrayal.
Wow.
Road crew. Bulldogs in hard hats. Bark, pant, drool. Make more sense than my poetic musings. Jackhammers pay better.
Oh.
Parched. Sultry summer rain. Elusive sensual forecast. Drought upon the fields, desire. Clouds, moist kisses. As longing rents dry earth. Pirate dance. Sea oats sway to the ebb and flood of life as rhythmic dance on ocean dunes stirs my pirate blood. Church on Sunday. Grandma sighs in her church hat and gloves at the beauty of the pine tree lined dirt road, her path to heaven.
Oh yeah, very sweet, very sweet. Sylvianne, you want? Okay. Here comes Drew. Drew, thanks for sharing this. This is really cool.
Yeah, thank you.
September 7th, 2002. Breastplate. Frostbite falls against us all. Someday we all must take that fall. When we must stand alone and tall, all by ourselves, and feel so small.
True.
You must come clean and be washed off, your face scrubbed hard by abrasive cloths. No gentle beams, only the screams of retribution, graft, and greed.
Whoa.
A stinging like a pack of wasps that will not leave or be cast off, only by time or more damp frost. Expensive days in summer we've bought a breastplate scratched by a dragon's claw.
Wow. I was just praising you for your original poetry and for your memorized Shakespeare. Yeah.
Okay.
Your notes will-
See, praise actually kind of freaks me out. I don't react. I get all like, oh my god, no really. The only moments of humility I ever experience are in the process of praise. Darling, could you make me another one of those?
Whoa.
Yes, darling.
My glass is right there, yes? I'll bring it to you.
Sir.
Oh.
He's impatient.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Okay.
Gotta go with the trick, darling. The treat costs you.
No, baby, the treat costs you.
Hey, you come over here anyway. Hey, you come on. You are not.
You know what? If you don't fucking act right, I'm gonna bite your ass.
No, I'm straight.
I don't give a damn.
Anyway, come play this guitar, fucker.
Alright.
Yeah, I need like sugar-free Coca-Cola with my darling, if you will. Anyway, the great thing about tonight is something rare that needs to happen a lot more often is happening.
What's that?
All four of the people that are the core of this band are here.
Oh, word. Oh, wow. Where is that?
Right here, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. She was a fast machine. She kept her motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I've ever seen. She had sightless eyes telling me no lies, knocking me out with those American thighs, taking more than a share, had me fighting for air. She told me to come, I was already there. The walls were shaking, the earth was breaking, her mind was aching. We were making it new. Shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. Working double time on the seduction line. She was one of a kind, just mine, all mine. Wanted no applause. Another girl was made a meal out of me. Come back for more, had to cool her down and take another round. Now we're back in the ring to take another swing. The walls were shaking, earth was quaking. We were aching, we were making it new. Shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. Shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. Shook me. Yeah, you shook me. Shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. Yeah, baby, you shook me all night long. Yeah, you shook me all night long. Well, you shook me.
Hey, they're from Australia, ain't it?
Actually, the young brothers are from Scotland, as is Bond, and he met him. He met him.
They're from Australia.
He met him. Where'd my drink go?
Probably fucked that up.
Hey, where's the fucking drink at? Oh, is it the thing on the... Okay, yeah.
That was cool, man.
Just sneak it in there, man. You know White Rabbit?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, Jesus. We'll do that together. I did that. And the second time she saw me, she remembered me and said hello first.
We definitely. Okay, so yeah, we'll get together.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of your songs. I want to fucking sing backups and harmonies on. Right.
Yeah, that's why, you know.
Yeah, it's
Go
got
over
it.
there, fucker.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I want. And she needs to be on it. Alright? Grab these fucking matching love posts right here.
Yeah, you get it. You can't do it.
Yes, yes. Yeah, the second time I met Grace Slick, the woman that wrote this song, she fucking said hello to me first. She remembered me from 2 years before, and she recognized my hat.
Yeah, let's start.
5, 4,
Wait, give us the
3.
key.
1, 2. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm sorry. Here we go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Makes you lose your and one makes you small. And the ones that gives you don't do anything at all. Just go out chasing rabbits, and you know you're going to fall. Till the gun smoking heaven has given you the call. Call Alice, and she was just small. One man on the chessboard, you never tell you where to go. And you just have some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving on. The rest I think you know. With logic and proportion, I'm going to forget. And the white line is up backwards, and the red green goes to bed. Remember what the doorbell said. Lead your head, lead your
Do me a favor. Try to sing.
That was fun.
Hell yeah.
Try to sing that.
Alright, alright.
If we can get to where we can work back and forth on certain notes, that'll take like that's intricate.
We just
That
gotta
is
get
a
our
hard
harmonies down.
fucking song to sing.
Just curious.
That is a
I can't
hard
do this. I
fucking
can't.
song to sing.
I can't see.
Grace
well
Slick
enough, bro.
could just fucking.
He'll jam. He'll pick up
I
on
can't. I
it.
can't. I
Yeah,
can't
he'll
see
pick
it.
up on everything.
Just that one about the.
I put it in my book. I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah, across celestial
But I'm not. I
sea.
can't.
curious,
I'm
huh?
gonna open it here. How about I take the first two, then you catch
We
it.
could do a random piece. Of
Yeah.
music.
I'm just curious to find that.
Oy vey.
Do you want to sing this?
It's kind of hard to do rhythmically. This would wind up being a complicated, almost classical sounding thing if you sing it the way I've got it tonight.
Yeah, you start the keyboard.
Let's see what I can do here. Let me see.
Okay. Play us across celestial seas.
Celestial seas, you gotta
Across celestial seas.
One round.
Yes. Summon. He is searching his mind.
Well, I'm working at this from the lyrics.
Yes, so.
And
It'll feel right. When we get there, it'll feel right.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to sing that verse, because there's no rhyme. That would end up being a complicated meandering melody.
Can I establish
That would end up being a complicated meandering melody is the thing.
Can I establish a signature before you guys start going for
Start
it?
singing. We're going for it.
Well, we're looking at the thing we
You
have.
just ready to
It's
go.
the only information
Like,
available
I can
to us
give
to
you a
figure out
little
what
bit
the hell to do with it
of
from that
scale.
scale.
No, I think now you've heard the first lines. Give us a key.
Yeah, see, I heard the first line and I had a scale in mind. So would you listen for about
The
6
intro.
bars or 8 bars?
Okay,
before
let's
it came
let
out?
him build it in.
Let's see if
Thank
you can
you.
give us something we can work from here.
This is interesting because I love seeing how you guys are working it. I'm learning.
This is how it goes.
Yeah, you're totally a part of this. If you feel compelled to sing with us.
If you have some idea of how you want these lyrics to be sung, I mean, that would help a lot.
This is I'm learning right now.
Okay, what I want to do is I want to incorporate about 3 different modal systems in this song. And first one is going to be the Gypsy modal system. Second is going to be the Hindu modal system. And third is going to be Hungaro-Persian. Okay?
Which sounds about as difficult to sing as this
I will
looks.
play them in reverse so that you know how that they're going to go.
Okay.
Right, no, how about you just go for it? And I think it is. So that's the Persian.
Yeah.
You said reverse?
Just go with it.
Yeah, go with it.
We must love each other.
We must love each other.
We gotta love each other.
We must love each other.
Across the celestial sea.
Thank you.
I don't know if that's you. I don't know if that's
Start over. Start over. Fuck, man. I gotta have to say, I go to work.
This is rehearsal. You don't get to cigarette after one song.
All right. Where we can sail together in a melody. Lovebirds singing to us intertwined. To create such satisfaction. Inside a divine soul, peace. officially a potential
And you are too
lyricist
for
for
being
shit
here.
we'll do.
This is
we're
proper
going
sound.
to write lyrics for this shit. Yeah, this is something we actually want to do. You write this?
It's
This is
you,
yours.
buddy.
Yeah, we would like to actually fully do this.
I seen how it was spread. It was spreading. It was
There are going to be times when I'm going to have to definitely do the vocal arrangements.
That's so funny.
No, I mean to actually do vocal arrangements.
No, you won't.
I can because I'm the best person qualified to do vocal arrangements.
No, you're not.
As the only person here who is purely a singer.
When they hear you.
Yes.
And they like
If
answer you.
I could write
and you
fucking
know you
shit
can't say it,
from
but they like
my
answer
voice
you.
alone
And I
for
answer
years.
people psychically too. Like I'll just tickle them and I'm like, yeah, I haven't
You
been
know,
in
I don't play guitar.
And I was like, no, but I heard you anyway. Don't get mad at me for reading your brain.
Sometimes there's not much to read.
Yeah, I know.
Human power shit.
Well fucking aware of that. Thank you so much.
Necessary human things to be able to read each other and to empathize with each other.
Well, now I can rest in peace.
Got the microphone.
By the way, Don, you want to be read while we're in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
Yes, still not recovered.
I'll be good.
I have not forgotten.
Celestial.
Wacky dude.
Yeah, we gotta really fucking just turn that thing into
Oh,
something.
really?
I'm gonna do this real quick.
I'll see
Everyone needs a cigarette, dog.
Now, are you locking the door?
That's me.
Should I like grab my things and?
Oh my God, yeah. Quick, you got 3 minutes from the lock.
Before it's his.
Awesome.
Wow, man.
We'll go. You gotta grab your laptop and all.
Well,
I guess he's not gonna like it.
No, he's not gonna. I mean, we're still here for and still doing stuff for a while yet, right?
Boom, boom,
Yeah. Sure, whatever.
Feeling
All right.
like
No,
drinking a lot of whiskey.
I don't wanna.
I think
Oh, God.
I think
Happy
actual
birthday, by
serious
the way.
practicing.
Yeah, it was Christmas Day. But
Happy
Christmas
birthday
it out.
to you.
My sister sent all this cool birthday swag. I had to come out.
She had a post. She said she wrote.
Yes, a banner in my front yard. My husband and son put up. Isn't that funny?
That was good.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
my
I do
sister's
love-
one of the best people on the planet. She really is very, very, very
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh,
One of the most thoughtful people ever.
And she's the one that's happened there.
Maybe in my next
She's in Warner Robins, Georgia.
This time I'm just the artist and the poet.
No way. That first time we really did something.
I could teach you. I'm a music teacher, you know.
We had a few awkward moments, but then again, we never even tried that before. If we ever get that to perfection,
You know, I went in somewhere the other day and started singing. I'm like, what happened? It's not me.
we ever got
I
that
have to tell you
perfection,
something.
that would
This
just.
is personal, okay? If you can walk, you can dance. If you can talk, you can sing. That's true. This is a very true thing.
Interesting because I kept on this book.
Tom taught me so much about living in the moment.
Time's up.
In a moment, yeah.
That's yours.
And I learned a lot.
Oh, that's.
And I'm not going to quit learning.
Me too. I'm learning every century. I'm a bit slow, like a turtle. But then turtle soup is delicious.
I never had it yet. Not that I know of anyway.
Don't eat the turtle. Yes.
You look so spiffy tonight, Tom. What are you doing?
My
How
God, he
come
does
you
look
look so
What he's
fine?
not doing, just look white or yellow.
You look
Yeah,
badass.
that's good. That's bright.
Is this festive?
Brother,
I've never seen you in black before.
Funeral. I said five
Happy
times.
funeral.
Whose funeral was it?
The guy who did UT football stadium, built whatever it is. He was an engineer.
You're the musician at the time?
No, not a musician. This is an engineer who designed football stadiums and extended all sorts of parts of UT. Very, very bright guy. So I was at the funeral, I did the oration today, praising him, and that was good use of poetry.
What?
Same as you did for your friend, you know, I did for my friend.
Aye.
Using poetry to say, look, goodness over here. Goodness.
Aye.
Point to where goodness is. People get confused.
Because you know what?
Yeah.
I couldn't have done without
Exactly. Without that
in my life.
Exactly. Someone tap you on the shoulder and say,
no, I mean, if Bob Gonzalez,
I think you were it.
if Bob Gonzalez hadn't like reached his arm around me and
Yep.
said, "I love you, man,"
yes,
I wouldn't have made it.
Yes. It's
So,
not
that's what
Elijah
you're
did.
saying. You have
That's
a
right.
friend,
Yeah.
and that was your friend, and he
Yes.
died, and you did that.
Yes.
Good on you, man.
You understand? No worries.
Sing.
Australia, we say we have got mates, mate. If you ain't got no mates, you've got no mates, mate.
In America, we say all kind of things.
Yeah, it's true. You do, don't you?
Yeah.
Who listens? We listen.
Allow listens. But we say it anyway.
Yep. Now, Drew, would you like a flower?
I would love a flower.
Yes. From me to you.
Is it a real flower?
A real flower. That's real.
Oh my God.
I don't know about God, but it's a flower.
No, that's dope.
Isn't that good? Isn't that good?
That's dope, man. Damn. I am taking that
Yes.
special place.
Very good. See you tomorrow, Tom. Oh, yeah. And,
I'll see you lads tomorrow night. I'll
It's
see
not
you lads
giving
tomorrow
Facebook.
night. We're going
It's
to
not
go to
giving you
kick
a
butt,
shame.
right?
Kick back tomorrow night for
Are we
sure.
all at kick butt tomorrow
We're all
night?
at kick back tomorrow night.
Yeah,
Sylvianne.
support Summer.
Kick back, support Summer.
Yeah, it's her
the last
feature.
night. Yeah.
I'm backing her up on guitar.
Thank you. I'm backing her up on Anarchy.
All right.
I got
Oh, it's a group effort. Ah,
committee. I got
Word, sucker.
Anarchy committee.
Yeah,
AC,
committee.
DC.
I'll be there.
All right.
You gonna be there?
Yeah.
Whoa, loyalty.
Oh God, it's the whole
Football
team. It's like a football team.
I'm glad they're recording it. Oh, that reminds me, we're still being recorded.
He should race got in hand.
Yeah, we're gonna leave it on.
No worries, it'll be on forever. It'll be tapping the telephone soon.
Forever.
It's just one of those things. Just
Thanks
one
for
of those-
helping me out on a dream, you know that.
Yeah. Just
Oh,
baby.
Which flowers stay out?
Oh, shit.
Good?
Let me do
Yes,
something
they
about
do.
that.
They
Get
do.
the water for 'em?
No,
No?
no, you can. Okay,
Can
would you like?
I thought I'd be able to work and put it
Okay.
on the porch. I can't put it inside because my cat is
Got yours?
Sister,
I just want.
Look at
Sylvianne.
this. Sylvianne. Look,
Sylvianne.
beautiful.
Sylvianne.
Sylvianne.
Yes. Sylvianne.
Like Sylvie.
Sylvie
Like
and-
Sylvia with an N.
And-
Sylvianne, because I like
Sylvia
the,
and
See you tomorrow.
Sylvianne.
like,
All right,
like
man.
that for you.
You're gonna be
You're
there?
out.
Yeah. You're gonna be there tomorrow? Come on down and kick butt.
I got it because the traffic is so, I mean, it's expensive
Well,
for me to drive up and down if I don't need to.
it'll be fun, so we'll see. I'll see you later.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to thank you. I really enjoy your poetry.
Oh, really?
Very much. Yes.
Earlier.
You're a new poet to me, but you're a brand new and very dear poet to me. And I'm very thankful for every time you are around.
Really? That's nice.
Yes,
That's
thank
nice,
you.
'cause
Thank you very much.
I just feel like I don't belong everywhere.
Bullshit. That is so bullshit. And you know what? You're so timid. You know, I've never been timid in my whole life. My whole life.
Oh,
My mama used to tell me, if you don't sing, boy, you don't get no supper.